Hello, back here once again. Wanted to go through some of the stuff that we went through previously, and that was with regards to pentatonics. Okay, and this time I'm actually going to do it up at the 8th fret. And obviously I said about ways that you can go through just familiarising yourself with the actual pentatonics. Today I kind of wanted to have a go at different ways of trying to practice, just running up and down, different ways of trying to build up your manoeuvring through them. Okay, now for this I'm going to go to the 8th fret with the C minor pentatonic, just because it's my choice of shape today, with shape 1 and key C minor. Okay, so just if you, just in case you aren't aware, shape 1 of the C minor pentatonic, also known as the E flat major. I'm going to start at the 8th fret on the 3rd string, 11th fret, then I go to the 5th string and I've got 8 and 10, 4th string for 8 and 10, 3rd string for the 8th fret and the 10th fret, now 2nd string for the 8th fret and the 11th fret, then the thin string for the 8th fret and the 11th fret. Okay, now initially I said, just to familiarise yourself with the actual shapes, it was best to go through it a few strings at a time, so that's exactly what we're going to do to start for today. Okay, we're going to go through it 3 strings at a time, just seems pretty good. So, okay, so there's the first 3, then you go through the next 3, then the next 3, then the next 3. So you should end up with something that sounds hopefully a bit like this. Okay, and then move through it from high to low. So starting on the thin string, 11, 8, 2nd string, 11, 8, 3rd string, 10 and 8. Go back a string, so we're now on the 2nd string, 11 and 8. Back to the 3rd string, and then the 4th string. So now that should sound a bit like this. Okay, so now it would be an idea to kind of go up and down. Okay, so there's an idea of just a quick way that you can try and just get used to playing through it. Sometimes it sounds a little bit better if you do it as something like triplets or sextuplets, so you get that. Or even backwards. That's sort of an idea coming through. Apologies if any of my playing is a bit sloppy. I don't care. Right, now we're going to go through it with 4 strings at a time. Okay, so 6, 5, 4 and 3 are the strings that we're going to choose first. And then we're going to go to the 5th string, go through 4 strings. Then the 4th string. Okay, so it should sound hopefully a little like this. And then go through it backwards. So 1st string, 2nd string, 3rd string, 4th string. Then the 2nd string, 3rd string, 4th string, 5th string. Then the 3rd string, 4th string, 5th string, 6th string. So it should sound hopefully a little like this. If you pick the correct string. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go up and down that. So hopefully if I get it right. 4 strings, and you could start saying, well, let's do it with 5 strings. It doesn't really serve much more of a purpose, other than that there's just a bigger leap going back, and you only have 2 selections then. So the next thing I wanted to kind of go through was moving through with 3 notes. So what we do now is we look at the scale as it comes, all the way through to high, and we number it. So we've got the first note, second note, then the third note. So what we would do is we go through the first note, the second note and the third note, then we go back to the second note. We'd renumber that as 1, so that would now be 1, 2, 3, back to the previous note, renumber it as 1, 1, 2, 3, previous note, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so that kind of gives us an idea. And if we go through it nice and slowly, starting on the thick string, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's just moving it in thirds. Now we can also go back from high to low. Okay, so we've got okay. Okay, now in small sections that might sound pretty cool. Etc, etc. You know, you can build up little ideas with it. You get lots of little ideas for solos come from something like that, just moving in thirds, but maybe moving through different shapes at the same time. Okay, so now moving in fourths. Well, not fourths, but 4 notes at a time. Groupings of 4, I should say, just to be a bit more grammatically and also technically correct. Moving in fourths, 1 would be something slightly different. Okay, so moving in groups of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now watch out with this, because we've got this section where we have to roll a little bit with our fingers. It gets a bit of a finger twister. So we start with the first finger, up to the 11th fret, then the next are 8 and 10. Then we go back to the thick string at the 11th fret, 5th string, 8 and 10, and then the 4th string at the 8th fret. So we should end up with this. Now here's where the trick comes in. That first finger now has to roll onto the 5th string. So from the 5th string and then the 4th string, 5th string, 8, 10, 4th string, 8 and 10. Then you use your second finger, or you can use roll with your third finger to get back to that 10th fret on the 5th string, and then 4th string, 8 and 10, and then first finger at that 8th fret on the 3rd string. Then you do the roll. So overall you keep continuing with that particular pattern all the way up. Roll, 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 or you can use alternate fingers, to make life a little bit easier without having to roll so much. Then you can come back that way as well, from high down to low. So that's moving in groups of 4. If you wanted to, you can move in 5. I'm not going to lie, this is where my head goes a little bit. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Choices, choices. As I keep saying, the problem is choice. There's so many different things you can practice. You can do it from high to low now. 1, 2. So there's moving with 5s. You can do it with 6. It's up to you. Okay, another way that you can try and move through it is maybe skipping strings. Okay, so maybe doing the 6th string, then the 4th string, and then moving back to the 5th string, do the 3rd string, 4th string, 2nd string, 3rd string, 1st string. Okay, so 6th, 4th, 5th, 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 3rd, 1st. Then maybe doing high to low. Okay, so there's another idea that you can try to utilise if you wanted to. Now, another way you can try and move through this, coming up with little ideas, is to maybe do the same sort of groupings, similar groupings that we did, but instead of just going up, maybe going up and down them. There's a group of 3. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And then go to the next grouping. Okay, so there, as you could tell, I went up the grouping and then down the grouping, then to the next note, going from high to low. I am doing this on the spot, by the way, so this will confuddle my brain. I'm just trying to quickly, as an impromptu thing, think of as many different ideas that we can try and utilise to practice through these particular pentatonic shapes. Any one of them or any few of them are great to practice, or come up with as many combinations as you like. But anyway, that grouping of 3, high to low. Okay, so thin string, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's it, just going down. So there we do. We go down and up. And then the next note. Okay, so now if we wanted to, we could go through groups of 4. And then maybe going from high to low. Okay, you might decide sixes. And then going from high to low. Okay, so the problem is, just coming out with as many different things that will essentially kind of fuddle the brain. You can come up with your own little patterns if you wanted to. I know there's a nice little one that I actually saw in, I think it was a Guns N' Roses solo by Slash. That was a nice little pentatonic run. I thought, that's a fantastic little practice tool. I think I practiced it a few times, but it's one of those that kind of went in my brain and out of my brain, as so many things do in my wonderful head. Okay, now this one, it actually starts with a slight anacrusic part, so the first two notes, and then the actual part starts with two hits on the next note, and then you go back the previous note, then up to the next note, so you've got that anacrusic, 8, 11, then it starts on this 5th string at the 8th fret, 11th fret on the 6th string, and then 8th fret. Then we go to the 5th string for the 10th fret, hit it twice, 8th fret, and then the 11th fret on the 6th string. So you can see that you're actually moving, it's the higher note that does the double, and then you come back to a couple of notes. Now, those of you that are British and have ever seen Have I Got News For You will also notice it as part of the theme tune. Something in there, but not quite that, but it gives you a rough idea. You might be able to do it coming, from high to low. Might even do it the same way. Now there, I was doing it exactly the same as I did previously in the run up. But I'm just starting on the higher string and starting the first note. So showing that if you wanted to, you can come up with a variety of different variants just to try and confuddle the brain a little bit more. Okay, now it's not to say that that's just purely, how you can practice that. Okay, now another thing that I'm not going to lie, I did go to Academy of Contemporary Music for a while, and they used to do a whole load of this is in the good times before it went to Rodborough Buildings. It was when it was in Hayden Place, and we had some fantastic guitar tutors. Ewan Smith, Dave Kilminster, Jamie Humphries was there for a little bit, but two of my favourites. It's kind of obligatory, Guthrie Govan. He was amazing. I can't lie, that the guy's a bastard. You just watched him play and just wanted to fucking cry. Pardon my French, but he was absolutely phenomenal. And there was also a guy called Pete Callard, jazz guitarist. He was absolutely phenomenal as well. Definitely check him out if you can. He's a very, very humble man. Doesn't really like being in the limelight, but he's just an amazing player. He can make any note sound good. And I remember Guthrie was kept going on about, you know, Pete being a complete git because he can make anything sound good. And then Pete would say, you know, Guthrie is a bastard because, you know, he's just amazing. Kind of caught between the two, but they were really nice characters. But I remember that they used to do other things for just trying to practice with pentatonics, and as just warm-up ideas. You know, something like that. So the first part is just going up the two middle strings, the 8, 10 on the 4th, and then the 3rd string, and then the 8, and then you'd hit the 4th string, then the 3rd string at the 8th, and then the 4th string. So, and then you'd repeat that. You know, something like that, just to break it up. Now, it's not to say that you have to purely stick to that. So for that second string that I was playing, I'm going up to that 12th fret, which is part of shape 2. I mean, it's just another little idea, another variant on it. You know, once again, that little idea. You know, choices. Come up with a few ideas of your own. You can also come backwards. Just going straight down. There, the 3rd string, 10, 8, 4th string, 10, 8. You know, maybe throwing that 12th fret again. Or go up. Yeah, maybe try that. It doesn't just have to be one particular way. Okay, so there's an awful lot you can do just with pentatonics, just to try and come up with different ways of trying to manoeuvre through them, just things that get these working. Okay, in a short while I'll be moving over to chords, explaining a little bit more about chords, but for the moment, ta-ra, in the words of the late Cilla Black.